So we have another convention on our hands going on right now, the Animation Comic Game Hong Kong 2018 Con.
Another convention? So many.
ACGHK, as it's called. That's a mouthful. But we get some new information out of this convention, specifically from Flame Toys' booth. Now, for people who aren't familiar with Flame Toys, they are a official third-party company that makes Transformer products that aren't, the traditional transforming one robot mode to an alt mode kind of thing. We've talked about them in the past. We've talked about their Fur-Eye model kits, specifically their Optimus Prime and their Starscream and stuff. You could look in the back catalog of Transformer Slag episodes. Just type model kits Slag, you'll find that. Also their Fur-Eye model deformers, which again is chibi versions of G1 characters and stuff. Again, also
and they're very sleek looking chibi versions. They're not like your typical cute. They're like kind of cool looking.
Yeah, and we've talked about those in the past already in previous episodes, so you could just kind of look that up. But what we're going to be talking about today, which is really, really cool, is something that we've also talked about in the past, but there's a new wrinkle to it now. So we talked about their Kuro Karakara Kuri action figure line, which is super articulated, really nice action figures of previously existing Transformer characters, specifically from the IDW continuity. And we've talked about previously the IDW Star Saber of that. Now we have some full color images of said Star Saber, so it looks really nice with his sword, the rifle, the shield, the extra...
all the trimmings.
Yeah, the saber head, which is like the smaller head character. But the big wrinkle now that we have here is they've recently shown the prototype of the Victory Leo. Now, first, one thing to establish with this prototype is that this line of figures doesn't transform. So the Victory Leo that you have here is going to be stuck in this lion mode permanently. It won't have a robot mode. But the cool thing about it is this Victory Leo, it actually comes apart and attaches to this IDW Star Saber to make a Victory Saber. Now keep in mind, IDW Star Saber does not have a Victory Leo equivalency and does not have a Victory Saber mode. This is solely completely created by Flame Toys to be just a little extra, hey, check this out. And I'm telling you this right now, anyone who's watched Gaogaigar, oh my God, do they have they have a lawsuit on their hands if there ever was one. Like this is.
I mean, they could kind of get away with it and be like, well, there's no drills on the knees.
Yeah, well, you know what?
They could kind of skirt here and there.
The lion.
Gaogaigar doesn't have some like mini guns on the side hips.
The lion chest idea comes from Brave originally, and Brave was at one point under the Takara emblem.
Right.
So but this one, because of the big wings on the back and everything, this is so explicitly Gaogaigar. Like, I can't wait to see the color version of this. It's going to be pretty bananas. But I mean, this looks awesome. This looks like really awesome. I really want to know prices for this.
But I wonder if this is intentionally they did this just so that later on they could probably retool it. I don't even know if that would actually happen in a model kit scenario. Probably.
Well, these ones here aren't really model kits. These ones are more. They're straight up. They're
figures. They're big.
They're large. They're large, expensive action figures.
Okay,
I want to imagine. And I mean, they have others. They have the Tarn that we talked about previously, the Shattered Glass Drift, which is again is like a Drift if he was in Deadpool colors. I guess is the best way to put it. An IDW Optimus Prime with a humongous sword. We've talked about all of those in the past, but specifically now we have this Victory Leo prototype, which makes a Victory Saber. This looks absolutely incredible, very stylized. I'm very curious how much this is going to cost. That's the one big thing, because I mean, really every Star Saber toy is expensive. I mean, if it's a masterpiece, if it's the original toy, I guess only the Robot Masters are probably about as cheap as it gets. But otherwise, I mean, Star Saber's always been a very expensive, and this thing looks massive and expensive and pretty looking. So who knows?
I would say it's worth it. For me, it's worth it just because it's an actual figure, so you can pose it however you want. It's not beholden to one specific shape, style of
and
motion.
especially combiners in general. Sometimes, in order to achieve that combining method sacrifices articulation and gimmicks and stuff like that too. I mean, anyone who's owned the original Star Saber just knows how much of a brick that thing is, let alone when it's Victory Saber, how much of a brick it is. Now, granted, you're talking a toy from 1989, 1990, so yeah, that also adds to it from an engineering standpoint, but I mean, this thing looks absolutely spectacular. I can't wait to see how the combined mode looks in color, and how big it's going to be combined. And me just looking around my room going, like, where the hell am I going to put this? If it's this massive figure, where is it gonna fit in? Because I'm very
Fortress Maximus.
Well, I'm
right
very OCD with my displays, where everything really has its place. Like, this is the Kuro section. This is this, and like, I don't have a section for flame toys yet. So, so like, this is something
I didn't even know you were gonna get into that. I didn't even know you were gonna, like, all right, here we go.
I really
first
had
into
no
flame
intention.
toys.
I had no intention to get this stuff, but I mean, like, even the Star Saber, I was kind of like on the fence a little bit, even though I love that character. But now that I see this Victory Saber kind of combination, I'm going like, man, I really want that a lot. It looks really good.
But you already have the MP one.
Well, this is an official product, and it's the IDW version, which we haven't had a toy of yet. So even though the IDW version is vastly different than the... and the thing is, I'm going to take a shot in the dark here. Outside of this stuff, we're probably not going to get many IDW-inspired characters in figural form on an official capacity, especially now that the IDW universe is on its way out. So the chances of that are even smaller. I mean, for every generation's, like, Trail Cutter, which really is IDW Trail Cutter,
right?
You know, there's tons of toys that aren't those characters, that aren't those designs. So, and especially someone like Star Saber, which already is kind of a long shot on the retail side of America. Add to the fact that it's like, well, an IDW Star Saber, like, you know, that's a really big long shot. So this is probably one of the few only chances you can get an official IDW Star Saber, and it's gonna, if you buy that extra crazy accessory that we call Victory Leo, you know, with that Takara blessing and that amazing, you know, combined mode, this might be your only chance for stuff like that. Now, price-wise, I don't know. If this is something that's under $200, I'll totally, like, and when I mean both combined, I'll totally bite, like, no question. But,
yeah, right.
Yeah, but that's just it. But I don't see it being that. I think that there's too much going on here.
We're through the looking glass here, people. That's what's up.
It's probably going to be a lot more. But either way, this is something really cool. I'm really curious what other people think about this and flame toys in general. This convention seems to be showing off a lot of interesting stuff this weekend. So definitely go check out the news posts about it. There's a lot going on here.